Hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for Throwback Thursday. Yes, we are back with the Real Housewives of Atlanta Pillow Talk or Pillow Fight Part 2. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all, please don't hesitate to like, comment, come on, engage with me, subscribe to the channel if you get anything out of the content. Now, child, let's get into it if we're going to get into it. So they still hollering, right? Okay, because we still at the pillow fight of it all. They still hollering. Apollo comes back in to get it started. Shout out to Kenya Moore. Meanwhile, Nini is following Kenya talking about, I am not here to be hood with you guys. Nay, honey. Nene was definitely in full effect that night. Don't try to be upper echelon now when you started this mess. So Kenya was like in her confessional, Nene started it with her negativity. Then when the hit the fan, she wants to wipe her hands clean. But you cannot because your hands are dirty. I have to agree with you, Kenya Moore. I have to agree with you. So Apollo wants a round two. So he runs up on Brandon again. Pop, pop, pop. So Phaedra is squealing, talking about, you stop it, Apollo. You stop it. And I mean it. Phaedra. Phaedra, you brought him out of his cage and now he out here acting like a wild animal. So Brandon is like, why he keep coming at me? Brandon, we have no idea. To this day, okay? To this day, and it's been 8 years later, I still cannot figure out why he was coming at Brandon. So they get Apollo out again. They get him out. Chuck still hiding behind Monique with a Y. Oh, scaredy cat. So Phaedra is like, get my purse. Somebody get my purse. It's a black Prada bag. Yes, grab the bag, honey. Can't leave that. And I know you're not Prada the way Apollo acting a fool. I know that. So everybody trying to hold Apollo back. So Brandon is like, what did I do to you? Inside, Nini is giving the benediction, child, because this has been a whole funeral. Do y'all hear me? So she's like, listen to me. We are all freaking adults. We came here to ask questions and answer them, not to get all crunk with no fists and stuff. Child, not the fists. Ooh, the fists were out that night. But sis, it's fists. It's already plural. You don't have to add the isses. Child, when I tell you Nini is true Southern, because that's how my mama would have said it. She would have been like, y'all fighting, got the fists out. Not the fists. She say Texas too. Y'all sending Texas all night long. Ooh, child, but she means text. Okay? Just so we're clear. Moving forward. So they got Apollo cornered when Porsha and Lauren walk out. She's like, come on, we ain't signing up for no like this. It's the hypocrisy years later for me. When I look back on this and can dissect it now, knowing who these people have evolved to be, baby, it's a fool. Baby, Carlos King had us in a trance. Do y'all hear me? We truly believed that these characters on our screen were who we thought they were. The only person that I will say that has not changed, okay, that has been who she gonna be, and that's just that on that, well, the only two people would be Kandi and Kenya. I have to give it to them. Y'all know I'm neutral, honey. I don't care. All of them crazy and none of them crazy. I think Kandi and Kenya have remained themselves throughout the years as the show has evolved and, gotten worse. Okay, because this was the good old days when it was organic. These two have remained their authentic selves. I can say that. So anywho, child, Porsha walking on out, honey, like she just cannot be bothered with the fight. So Porsha said, we in the room. This is what she said in her confessional. And everybody fighting. We can't even have a good time. I'm disgusted. Porsha, please. Porsha should have really taken up acting, honey, because Meryl Streep ain't got nothing on Porsha. Moving forward. So Nini is like, Porsha, where you going? She's like, this is hood, Nini. Okay? And then her confession, she gonna say, I just started seeing spirits in people's faces. Yes, honey, probably the ghost of Porsha's past, because good and well. Girl gone. So she's talking to Nini and she's like, well, how did it go from us having a regular conversation to grown people getting up boxing? That's what we was trying to figure out in Mexico. How did it go from you, your mother, and your sluts to y'all beating Dennis up? How did it go from that to that, honey? The people want to know. Things that make you go, This is hilarious to me. It's just hilarious, child. She said, I wouldn't say demons, but I saw an evil spirit had entered the space, and I want no parts of it. Girl, bye. So her and Lauren, who looked like she was ready for a round of dodgeball, they leave. I was like, what does Lauren have on? Meanwhile, inside, Christopher is apologizing to Nini. He's like, you have to be a strange person to walk up on somebody and say, I know Greg better than you. The Todd's looking at him crazy, Nini and Cynthia that is. And he said, and you been with him for over 20 years. And you sitting there looking like, really? Then this lowlife, okay? This lowlife accuses Kenya of being on a controlled substance. He's like, I don't know if she was on the M word, rhymes with poly, because honey, I don't want to say that up and through this review, child. I need this to be monetized. He was like, I don't know if she's on that. I don't know what she was on. He was like, she just came here to turn up. Sir, respectfully go to hell, okay? There is no reason to accuse her of all of that. Kenya came in there normal. Nini was the one on 10. You just lying and deflecting to this day. I believe what Kenya said that he said about this woman. I believe he said that she was common law wife and she talking about she makes strips for club songs or whatever. And I was trying to do a little research yesterday to see if they were still together. But child, then I had got wrapped up in Married at First Sight and I couldn't do it. So I'm going to do it today. Moving forward. So Kandi said, speaking of that, you had said some things about Todd that I didn't think was cool. So common law tells her Cynthia and Peter had asked her some character questions about Todd. So Kandi said, so you know him as an opportunist? She said, no, I never said opportunist. I said he dated my girlfriend, Ani. He cheated on her. He broke her heart. And he was a hustler. And he knew how to swerve. And he was looking for a better situation. Girl, in no uncertain terms, an opportunist. Chris was like, no, it was out of concern for you. So, baby, they're trying to play Kandi for a fool, honey. Because if it's one thing Kandi is not, is a dummy. Kandi said, so you knowing him felt concerned for me? I know that's right. So then common law said, no, she said your mother was concerned. Lady, why you mention her mama? Huh? See, Cynthia should have never told her all that information. That was none of her business. So Cynthia is realizing she about to get caught up, right? So she's like, I don't like where this is going. You know, I asked out of concern for Kandi. So then Kandi was like, because baby, they done got Kandi started. Kandi said, to be honest, we don't care about her. We don't care about your friend, but you implied it. You implied he was using me for a come up. She said, it was brought to me. She said, well, it was brought to the other ladies that way. Help me understand. Like, why would you say that? So Cynthia, realizing she about to get caught, here she go. I told Kandi, Natalie had a lot of great things to say about you. Kandi said, it wasn't about that though, Cynthia. I asked you about if he was an opportunist. So Cynthia starts getting hyped, honey, because she getting caught in a lie. She's like, it doesn't matter, Kandi. It was a whole conversation. She said, it matters to me. She's like, well, you only hearing the negative stuff. Whole time, Cynthia flailing them arms and talking all close to Kandi, pointing her fingers in her face. So Candy's like, why are you doing all this and all up in here with it? What are you doing? So Cynthia continues showing out. And she's like, you talk using your hand, I'm talk using mine. Cynthia needs to back the hell up. Okay, you're a little too far in that girl's personal space and you're a little bit too far in her face. Okay, and I'm trying to figure out, why are you getting so hype? So Kandi said, the bottom line is you doing too much. Kandi said, I'm a short girl. This is what she said in her confessional. You cannot do all this in my face, all this in, so you better back up. So Cynthia goes, okay, Todd, I'll talk to you. So she's trying to explain, not making absolutely no sense. Up walks Peter in his robe. And y'all, I figured out why Peter held down Brandon, because I had never noticed that he held him down until I rewatched the episode. He never liked Brandon from season 5 when Kenya had that party for black women in Hollywood and Porsha came as Dorothy Dandridge instead of coming as Babs. Remember, Kenya put Porsha out of the party and everybody was up in arms. Everybody was a man named Paul, honey. They was all appalled. So they got escorted out. Well, Cordell and Brandon were about to get into it as they got into it, and Peter jumped in. Remember that? If y'all don't remember, go back and watch that episode. It's on Hulu as well. Shout out to Hulu, honey, in case y'all want to sponsor me and whatnot. So Peter and Cordell were both getting into it with Brandon. And you know that Cordell and Peter were really close. And you know, they even opened up Bar 1 together down in Charlotte. So that is the reason why Peter still had a vendetta against Brandon. Baby, I done figured it out, honey. I done cracked the case. Baby, I said, now why would Peter hold this man down on the slick and mask it as him getting Brandon out the way? And Peter, you ain't fooling me. Moving forward. Okay, back to the mess. So Peter walks up. Cynthia was like, it was a whole spectrum. It was a whole conversation. So whatever you want to take from it, take from it. And she's still flailing them arms, right? Now, Cynthia, you all in Candy's face like you were trying to check her. Okay. And Cynthia just mad because she getting caught in her lie and she trying to overtalk Kandi. That's what you're trying to do. So Mal comes in and pushes Cynthia back because she sees that she's getting a little bit too close. So Peter is like, what's going on? Todd is like, no, we good, we good. So Kandi was like, what's going on? Oh, so while Kandi asking that, Todd was like, I came up. It's true. I love my baby. I came up. So Monique is like, y'all love each other, and that's all that matters. Someone else's opinion of it should not matter. Todd was like, yeah, I love my lady. That's all that matters. So Peter said, y'all acting real strange. Kandi said, we acting what? Because, honey, you done said her man acting strange. Baby, don't mess with my man, my mama, and my child, and my money, honey. I added money. Moving forward. So Kandi said in her confessional, Peter come bucking up his chest like he gonna do something. You don't walk up on a woman like that. So Peter looks at Todd. He was like, you know the rules. Here go Todd. What rules? What rules? So they kind of squaring each other up. He getting closer to Peter, and then Mal pushes Todd. Well, baby, what she do that for? That set Kandi off. Do y'all hear me? So Chris is trying to push both of them back, both Kandi and Todd. So Peter's like, let him go, let him go. Kandi going in. Nini is like, we are better than this. Kandi, we are better than this. So Kandi is like, bitch, I whoop you up. So she talking to Mal because Mal had pushed her in between the whole mess as well. So Todd is like, babe, I got this. So he trying to calm her down. Mal is like, I tried to break them up. Kandi said, you put your hands on me. That's what you did. Baby, that got Kandi in this red closure wig hot. Do y'all hear me? Baby, that's when Derek J was putting her in these closure wigs. Do y'all hear me? So Mal over there mumbling to Cynthia, I'm going to Kandi up tonight. I will beat her ass. Okay, Mal, we hear you. Okay, but I don't know now. Because, I mean, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. So Nini trying to talk to Kandi. She's like, I will drag you in this. So Nini in her confessional, honey, same comb over wig, different lip. She's like, don't talk about my man, my man. I'm just so tired, child. Oh, I'm just so tired. I'm really, really tired. You shouldn't be tired because you started this mess. And I'm going to stand on that, honey. You started it. So Kandi is like, I will drag you in this. Peter's like, whatever you say. She's like, I wasn't talking to you, Peter. He said, who's she talking to? So Phaedra finds Kandi in the restroom, child. So Kandi said, well, we know Cynthia ain't gonna bust a grape, but we know Mal will pop off. You don't touch me. Those two fingers, they did like this to me, to my shoulder. You don't touch me. Yep, because Mal done got into it with Kenya before, so she definitely about that life. So Phaedra's in the restroom with Kandi, and she's telling her what happened, and Phaedra's crying because Kandi is upset. Child, this is sensory overload for Phaedra. High class parks, honey. First Apollo and now Kandi. And I don't think she even got that Prada bag yet. Oh, child, it's a fool. Moving forward. Peter and Todd are out there talking about the code because, you know, me and they'll get into it and then be friends 2 seconds later. Todd is explaining to him, I put my arm up to back y'all off my lady. So Nini comes in the bathroom like, please help Todd, Phaedra. Just help Todd. So why would you say that in front of Kandi, knowing she already riled up? So Kandi was like, what? What's going on? What's wrong with Todd? So she goes out there. So while they talking, Kandi is like, Todd, let's go. He's like, hold on, baby. I'm talking to this man. She's like, let's go. So Peter goes, relax. Todd and I are talking. Kandi said, really? It doesn't matter about that. I am ready to go. Todd, let's go. Okay, let's go. Okay, it's no need to sit around and talk to Peter. Let's just go, honey. It's starting to get crazy. And if I were her, I'd be ready to go too. Moving forward. So Nini said, who knew this would turn out to be the brawl that it is? Nini, you started this whole mess. I never really realized how messy and what a mastermind Carlos King is. But let me break this down for y'all. Because, honey, I ain't got nothing else to do. And y'all got nothing but time to listen. Chuck, these are all the people in the room. And I am going to do a diagram of how they're all connected. Honey, it ain't even 6 degrees of separation in this room. It's one person and a producer in between all these folks. Chuck dated Kandi and Phaedra. Phaedra can't stand Kenya because of Apollo. Kenya thinks Apollo's kind of fine. Apollo low-key jealous of Brandon because he hanging out with Kenya. Natalie and Christopher Williams, are into it with Kenya, who allegedly had a thing with Christopher Williams. That's what the streets were saying back in the day. Kandi, whose ex is Chuck, and next is Todd, dated Natalie's BFF. And Natalie and Christopher Williams are close to Peter and Cynthia. Oh, child, this is a mess. Todd dated Natalie's BFF. Kandi got a beef with Natalie because of comments about Todd. Cynthia is close to Natalie and Chris, who has a history with Kenya through Chris and Todd through Natalie. Okay, because Todd dated Natalie's best friend. Chris was supposedly messing around with Kenya. But Christopher Williams and Natalie are both close to Cynthia, who is now getting to know Kenya a little better. And Monique and Chuck are tied to this whole mess because of Phaedra and Kandi. Baby, and Chuck and Monique are close to Greg and Nini, even been in their wedding. Y'all see how messy that is? And Carlos positioned them all perfectly in this room to get the mess started. And he ain't fooling me. It is no way all these X's and Nexes should have been in the same room, honey. But I ain't gonna lie, it was ratings gold at the time. We had never seen a housewife show get into any kind of physical altercation. This was the very first one, and I will never forget it. I said, now why the black people got to be the first one to get to fooling and getting into a fisticuffs? What is wrong with y'all? Oh, child, I'm like, Porsha, I just saw spirits in their faces. Child, this is crazy. Oh, honey, moving forward. So Cynthia out there saying any old thing, child. She's like, Peter, I always say how smart you are. You know, you is kind, you is smart, you is important, you is the help. Cynthia gone. Cynthia, that's not the point, honey. The point is what you claim Natalie said. She said she did not. Okay? Child. And we ain't worried about Peter. This has nothing to do with him. Moving forward. Apollo finally got a shirt on, so they leaving. And Kandi is like, I can't talk right now. Because Todd came in the restroom. She was like, I can't talk when I get like this. I just need to calm down. In the next scene, it is the next day. Over at Kandi's house, they are telling Karma about the story about the pillow talk party. Now, while she's telling this story, she says Kenya got up and started charging at his wife. He grabbed her arm and she started flipping out. Kandi, didn't you start flipping out because Mal pushed you and because she pushed Todd? So Kenya is not supposed to be upset that this man is putting his hands on her? Kandi, now girl, Kenya did not charge at his wife. She walked over to her. How are y'all forgetting that? And he walked over aggressively, might I add. Girl, bye. Meanwhile, over at Cynthia's townhome, Greg and Nini come over with donuts to give their recollection of things the other night. So Peter is like, I'm sorry about your party. And Nini is like, I just feel real low. I just feel real down right now. So Peter was like, all I know is Chris got up because Kenya got it wrong. And that's all I remember. So you don't remember holding him down so Apollo could attack him? You don't remember that? Oh, okay. So Nini said, I remember almost all of it. Cynthia said, okay, well then what happened? So she said, Kenya just got up out her seat like she bad. Cynthia said, yes, she was rushing him a little bit. No, ma'am. She did not rush him at all. Were y'all at the same party? They were really making me mad when they were recounting everything that happened. Nini was like, all Chris did was put his hands up and then the queen gonna jump up and get into it. I was like, when I heard her say that, that was disgusting, Nini. It was disgusting. Nini would have been canceled for that statement in today's climate. Because, baby, they don't play that. There was no reason for you to call him all that. It really was not. Quite the contrary, actually. Brandon was the only man in the room that night. Your hate for Kenya got you talking crazy, Nini. It really does. Over at Kenya's rental, Brandon shows up there with shades on, honey, because he got a shiner. His face was swollen. His ribs were bruised and cracked. So Kenya was like, I really feel responsible for what happened to him because I took him to that god-awful event. Yeah, you did, Kenya, but it's still not your fault, okay? All of this could have been avoided if the space was positive, and it was not. Neither one of them even know what happened. So Kenya's like, Chris put his hands on me. And did. So Brandon said, I didn't even say anything crazy. All I said was don't put your hands on her. Brandon said I was pushed and Apollo was pounding on me like a light-skinned animal. Kenya said, they can call me crazy all they want to, but I have never put my hands on anyone. Moving forward. Kandi's still at the house telling the story to Karma, and she gets to the part where she was acting a fool and how she was acting crazy and how she said she would drag Mallory. Back at Cynthia's townhome, she's telling it another way. She's like, I wasn't trying to get in Kandi's face to get anything started, but she came up on me like, you need to back up. You need to back up. So her and Nini like flailing their arms around, acting like Kandi was losing her mind. Cynthia, you were all in that woman's face, getting closer and closer and closer. You and your sister were in the wrong. Your sister put her hands on Kandi. Don't put your hands on nobody. Keep your hands to yourself. Respect people's personal space. Back at Kandi's house, Kandi is still trying to give Karma the tea about Cynthia and her finger pointing. Back over at Peter and Cynthia's, Peter is like, she was acting like a ghetto heifer with 5 people holding her down. And again, Mal put her hands on her and Todd. So back at Kandi's house, Karma is like, you acting like your mama. She was like, nah, I was worse than my mama. I appreciated Kandi realizing that she didn't respond the best way, because that fight between Apollo and Brandon, it changed the whole mood. It got everybody all charged up. But the fact that she realized that she did something wrong, I respect that. Moving forward. So Cynthia is over there being a Karen, saying, I just really don't feel comfortable with Kandi anymore, telling me she gonna unalive me. Nini said, now do you really think she gonna do that? She said, well, she said it. Nini said, girl, gone. Well, she didn't say girl gone. She said girl bye. But my version is girl gone. She said, I just can't get it out of my mind like how Kandi acted. It's like she was possessed by a street thug. Not Kandi, a part of Bone Thugs and Harmony, honey, because she sang a little. Child, this is too much. Oh, honey. Moving forward. Back at Kandi's house, Todd tells Kandi that she needs to apologize, and Kandi agrees, honey, because she is embarrassed. Back at Kenya's, Brandon has a police report. He said, I spoke to my attorney. Do you know that is an automatic felony? He cracked my ribs. But Brandon, being the kind soul that he is, he didn't want to move forward with pressing charges because of their 2 kids. Child, he better than me. And he better thank God, because anybody else, he would have been right back in prison. So Kenya said, had it been me, he would have been locked up, because that's where animals belong. I know that's right. Moving forward. So child, Phaedra shows up at home after a long day at school. Apollo was in the kitchen warming up some leftovers, and she said, after last night, I just really needed a moment. So Apollo starts talking about it, and he's trying to get this lie on camera. He's like, I was having fun. I never thought that I would get hit. I was just trying to defuse the situation. Apollo, maybe that's how they do it on Cell Block 4, but I saw you attack Brandon. Okay, I didn't see you trying to defuse anything. He's lying to Phaedra like she wasn't there. She's like, well, I just hate when this kind of stuff happens, because people will say it's because of your background and because of your past. That's what you worried about? How it makes y'all look? Apollo said all Phaedra cared about was keeping up appearances, honey, and he was right. You know the kind of man you married, so stop trying to act like you don't. Then phony Faye, she gonna say, I'm not downplaying Apollo's role, but Kenya started this mess, and if she hadn't got up, none of this would have ever happened. It's amazing how nobody wants to take accountability for their part. Kandi was the only one. Moving forward. In the next scene, Kandi shows up to the Mother's Love audition, child. 1,000,001 people showed up. Nobody had talent. Kandi got her American Idol on, and it's a no for me, dog. Moving forward. All the heifers are getting ready to gather at the spa per Kandi's request. She wants them to get together so they can talk about the mess. So they all start to arrive. So Kandi got there first, because of course it's her little event. Then Porsha, then Kenya. So Kenya's like, I really applaud Kandi, because I really don't want to see Phaedra. It makes me sick to my stomach that neither her nor Apollo apologized to Brandon. Apollo definitely owes Brandon an apology. He definitely does. But then that would be admitting guilt. And honey, you know how the criminals like to do. Moving forward. Phaedra in her 10th grade hairstyle, they show up. And Cynthia's like, I love a good old massage, but I don't know if I'm ready to be in the same room with Kandi yet. Why? You got in her face wagging your finger. Then your sister pushed her. So why you don't want to be in the room with her? Cynthia got this Karen quick weave child, and now she behaving like one. Finally, Lanithia arrived. She was like, I'm here to meet a bunch of mean girls. Just come on in, Nini. Just come on in, child. Then Nini gonna have the nerve to say, I have no interest in hanging with these girls because nobody reached out to me to apologize. This is the season they were selling audacity. Had to be, honey, because Nini had a pocketbook full of it. Nini, if anything, you owe them an apology. Your messy party and your messy questions started out of this mess. It's giving mess box. Child, she was really nuts. She said, I did receive a text from Kenya's good girlfriend, Brandon, in the red gown. But how did he even get my number? I mean, my number is very private. Nini, these little side comments, the red gown, the queen, the jumping up. I know y'all in Atlanta, home of the men in heels during this time. Derek J. Shout out to Derek J. and Miss Lawrence. But that's uncalled for. Your dislike toward Kenya has you saying some disgusting stuff, girl. I never really realized how disgusting it was until I just sat back now and watched it. I've always liked Brandon, and I love how loyal he is to Kenya. Everybody needs a person, okay? You had Greg, and she didn't have a spouse, and she really didn't have a best friend besides Brandon. So let that man take up for her. Girl, please. Moving forward. So Cynthia, Phaedra, and Nini are getting foot massages, and the other ladies are getting full body massages. So Kandi comes in to get the ladies. She's like, can y'all meet me over here to have some tea? Cynthia still acting kind of stank toward Kandi, but Kandi said that she understood. So Kandi starts apologizing to the group once they all sit down. So Kenya's like, what happened? Because, we left. She's like, I really don't want to rehash everything since I'm the one that lashed out and acted an ass. And Nini said, well, I don't think you acted in any more of an ass than Kenya. Kenya said, excuse me? Then Kenya? Nini said, yes, the thing to do is to apologize since it was my event. Apologize to your own self, Nini. You started it. Common Law and her husband need to offer up an apology to you. That's all you need to get. So Cynthia, honey, she don't want to hear no more about it. She's like, okay, y'all can deal with that later. Okay, got it. My big thing is this. To you, Kandi, we had some words and maybe I was too close in your personal space because I saw a side of you I ain't never seen before. Because all of a sudden you were like, you need to back up. You need to back up. And you did see another side of her. You tower over Kandi. Why do you think it's okay to be like, whatever you want to take from it, while pointing your finger in her face? That's what you thought made sense? Oh, okay. So, child, Kandi don't never catch nothing the first time. Here she go. Say what now? She wants you to repeat it one more time, honey, so she'll know if she needs to get an attitude or not. She said, the reason I said that is because your sister pushed me. So Cynthia's like, Mal has no reason to just push you for no reason. Kandi said, yes, that's how I felt at the time. Kandi said, you walked up on me. She said, I talk with my hands just like you talk with your hands. So Kandi said, the problem was when Peter stepped up to me like he was going to do something. So Cynthia going to outright lie and say, Todd was already in my face. I couldn't stand Cynthia this season. I could not. I was not a fan at all. She lied just that quick. She got a little lying problem as well. So Kandi said, Todd never even addressed you. Kandi said, clearly we have a different recollection of the events, and clearly Cynthia has the events wrong. Cynthia claims she was trying to break them up. So Nini and her chandelier earrings in the confessional and her one shoulder teal blouse, she feels in her confessional, she said, Mal pushed Kandi. I'm not sure why, but it happened. Cynthia know Mal pushed Kandi as well, but she like to ride for her sister, honey. And I know it's right. You gonna ride for your sister just like Kandi gonna ride for Mama Joyce, honey. But at the same time, your sister pushed Kandi. That's the bottom line. Kandi said, well, I apologize for my part. I said I was wrong. I acknowledged I was wrong and I'm wrong. Cynthia said, well, I apologize on behalf of Mal if she pushed you. Ma'am, where's the apology for your part? That was the most tense apology I have ever heard on reality TV, baby. Cynthia just mad she got caught lying and being messy. Y'all, let's continue. Moving forward. So Phaedra gonna bust out of nowhere because she like to deflect. I hate when my tea bag breaks in my water. Girl, what? So Kenya said, typical Phaedra. Sipping her tea, playing with her tea bag. She'll do anything to avoid the situation. So Phaedra pipes up. Phaedra said, well, we all know my husband was involved in the fight with Brandon. And, I just hate that it went there because as Black people, we fight against those stereotypes all the time. So when we act crazy, it helps nobody. Kenya was basically like, bitch, please. Kenya was like, girl, gone. So Nini said, well, what Apollo say happened? Phaedra said, he said he was trying to break it up and got hit in the eye. She's like, it was a lot of yapping. And that night, Brandon, wrote a check that his butt couldn't cash. He does that a lot. Remember, he did it with Cordell. I remember this like yesterday, y'all. This is when I stopped fooling with Phaedra officially. It was long before the sex dungeon scandal. This was the season I stopped fooling with Phaedra when she did that mess. Lady, your ex-con husband assaulted Brandon for no reason. Got escorted out, came back in to fight some more. Brandon was only defending his friend. And then he started to defend himself because your husband was attacking him. So Kenya said, okay, I'm gonna have to stop you right there. I'm just gonna have to stop you. Kenya said, nobody deserves to get beat down like they're in the middle of a prison melee. Here go Phaedra. That's old news, slut. Please move on. Oh, child. She married him, but she hate when people bring up his past. Then as soon as he got caught up, honey, in his mess, she abandoned him. Apollo, go away from me with this. Honey, he wasn't no more good then. So Nini chimes in and tells Kenya, you were not right. You started it, jumping up out your seat with your diaper on. I would have cussed Nini all the way out, honey. It takes Claudia for Nini. It take her to get Nini all the way together, honey. Nini apologized to Claudia and everything. Y'all remember that? I'm going to have to review that episode as well because, baby, that is one of my favorite Housewives episodes. So she said, then your friend jumped up out of his seat like a queen in a red outfit, knowing he going to get his ass beat. Kenya said, I don't think he did anything wrong. Nini said, he did. Kenya said, Christopher touched me. Here go Nini. No, he put his hands up to stop you. Girl, please. He grabbed her arm, period, point blank. Nini is like, none of us agree to that. Not none of us. Not you gonna speak for the entire room. So Kenya is like, if somebody touches me, it's gonna be a problem. Nini said, you lucky you didn't get your ass beat. Nini was in charge of the girls that season. Do y'all hear me? She was in charge of them. None of them spoke up, knowing Christopher grabbed Kenya's arm. And Kandi, you especially know that he grabbed Kenya's arm because you just repeated it to Karma over at the house. Child, what is wrong with y'all? Y'all weak sauce. So they're going back and forth and back. And Kandi is trying to get them to calm down. Kenya is like, any man would defend a woman's honor. Greg, Todd, Nini said, I don't need Greg. I'm a gangster. He gonna be sitting over there looking at me. Like Chuck behind Monique. Moving forward. So they were getting louder and louder and louder. Cynthia trying to calm him down. Nini trying to calm him down. Nini was like, you wrong. Your friend was wrong. And don't bring him around no more. Kandi is like, well, can we just agree that he was trying to keep you from charging his wife? No, ma'am. We cannot agree to that. He walked up first. What part don't y'all get, Kandi? You and your wig? So Kenya's like, no, I'm not going to carry the entire melee. I am so happy that Kenya decided to stand up for herself and say, no, I'm not going to just take the blame. Girl, please. Child, then Miss Hypocrisy chimed in, Miss Peach Juice herself. She's like, well, we need to speak the truth. Kandi spoke for what, she did. So I just feel like, state what you're taking blame for. From my vantage point, it looked like Chris put his hand up and you reached forward while his hand was up. Well, child, your vantage point is wrong. Okay. Probably just learn the word vantage point. So they're all gaslighting Kenya. And Nini keeps saying, Kenya, you did it. All of us are in agreement. You did it. So then Cynthia and Kandi jump up and they like, girl, we got to go. Because, honey, you have us hollering all up and through this space. Everybody was like, let's disperse, honey, because the heifers are embarrassing us and we cannot be in here hollering. This is a spa. And that was the end of the episode. The bottom line is this. Kenya, you were not wrong. Brandon, you were not wrong. It was a lot of wrong being done in the room. Everybody does play a part. But it all got started when Nini and her energy was negative. If it's your event, the energy that you exude will suck up the oxygen in the room. And that's that on that. Bloop. Y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what you thought about part 2 of Pillow Talk or Pillow Fight. Don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Meet me back here next Thursday. Y'all tell me in the comments what is the next Throwback Thursday episode of any show. It doesn't have to be Housewives that y'all would like to see. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.